Hey everyone, my name is Alyssa and welcome to The Productive Dev. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to undo commits in Git using Git Reset and Revert. And so I'm sure everyone has had a point in time as a developer where they've either committed something to the wrong branch or committed something and realized that maybe they want to make a slight change or whatever. In this video, you're going to learn how you can easily undo commits. And the two commands to do that are Git Reset and Revert. And although they sound very similar, they have distinction and differences that we want to know. And if you want the TLDR, use Git Reset if you have only made local changes and you do not have a remote branch. Or if you do have a remote branch, you have not pushed those upstream. And then use Revert if you have a remote branch with commits and you want to undo a commit while still keeping things in sync and retaining the Git history. So say you have a remote feature branch that you're working on, maybe with another developer, and you want to undo a commit that you just did, you would want to use Revert for that. So we're going to start off by looking at the reset command, and the Git Reset command provides a way to reset a project back to a specified commit. And once a reset is applied, all the changes before the specified commit are no longer part of the history for a branch. So this is why you don't want to use this when working on a remote branch, because it will undo history and that will mess things up for other people. There are two types of reset commands. There's a soft reset and a hard reset. And a soft reset, this just means that it brings the code back to where it was. Like you'll see the diffs and stuff in your working directory files. So this is particularly helpful because it preserves the changes. So let's say you made some commits on the wrong branch, but you still want to keep those changes that you made. Sorry, it popped up there. Say you made changes on your branch, but you still want to keep those changes that you made. Then, and then you say move it to a different branch, then it would still have the changes there. It would just undo the commit in the history. And I'll show you what that means in a second here. And then a hard reset is a little more permanent. So it moves things back to a clean slate. So when you run a hard reset, it's as if you never did the changes at all. So this is, you want to use this if you're like, yeah, I just want to completely like get rid of it. I don't even want to see the changes. And you know, warning sign here, it will eradicate your previous commits and your code revisions. So use this wisely. I would say 99% of the time I use a soft reset. Very seldom do I ever use a hard reset. Even if I know I'm not going to use it later, I just like to see the changes. So let's go back to the terminal now, and I want to show you how we can do this. So I'm just in a little sample directory here, and if I go ahead and log out the history, you know that we have these 5 commits. And this is just a directory that has a README file and has these 5 lines in it, and each line just corresponds to the commit. So just to keep it simple. And so let's say that so right now, right, we have this 5th commit. Let's say we want to do Git Reset, but go back to, say, this 4th commit right here. All I have to do is take the hash, so this 3F9EF2F. So if I go ahead and do Git Reset, actually, let me do a git status so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. So now, see, nothing to commit, working tree is clean. So now if I go ahead and do Git Reset and then pass in that, the default is that it's going to do a soft reset if I don't pass in the flag. So I go and reset. Now, if we do git status, notice that we have, okay, something's modified. Remember, this is a soft reset, so we're still going to see the changes. But if I do, let's see, git diff, I think you'll see, yeah, see how this 5th commit is kind of different here. So we still have the changes there because we undid it, but we kept it in the, you know, in the working tree. So if I was to go ahead and let's say I want to actually keep that commit. I don't want to. So let me go ahead, like git add readme, yeah, git commit 5th commit. I haven't done this many times, right? So now you see we're in a clean working tree. If I do git log 1 line, now we have back to our 5 commits. So now I want to show you how to do a hard reset. And let's say we want to go to this 3rd commit here. So if we do same things, we do git reset -- hard, and then let's copy this commit here because we want to go back to the 3rd commit, that point in history. Now what it's going to do, it's going to run. And now if I do a git status, it's still going to say the working tree is clean because remember, it completely eradicated the changes that we did. However, now if I do git log one line, you'll see that we are only up to the third commit. And if I output the files in the README, notice that we only have the 3 commits. So that's kind of the difference between reset, or the soft reset and the hard reset. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's go back to the article here, and I want to talk about Git Revert next. So the Git Revert command is similar to the reset command in that they both undo commits. However, they're different in how they achieve this functionality. So whereas resetting eradicates the commits from Git history, reverting will create a brand new commit at the end of the Git history with the reverted code changes. And I promise this will make sense when we do it here in a second. So when a revert is run, Git's going to prompt you to add a new commit with a helpful message explaining what got reverted. And so here's an example here. And so reverting always, it allows you to undo commits cleanly that have already been pushed up to a remote branch. So this is why I said it's helpful if you're working with another developer or something on a feature branch. This is really good if like you're saying, hey, I want to undo this. Here's a commit in to push up saying, hey, this got reverted. So this is very good for remote stuff to keep the history in line while still being able to undo things. So if I go back to our terminal here, let me go ahead and clear it. And if I do git log one line, okay, remember that we have these 3 commits that were left after our resets. So now let's say I want to revert this commit right here. So the command to do that, again, we take the hash, and if I do git revert and then pass that in, notice that now we get this kind of message thing. So revert third commit. This reverse commit, and this is the longer hash name. And so this is kind of the difference here, is that it's actually going to create a new commit. And so if I go ahead and do right quit here and now do git log one line, now we see we have this revert third commit tacked on to the end of the Git history. And that's the difference between reset and revert. Remember, reset just undid it, removed it from the history. But then now, by reverting, we have this this additional commit here and notice that this third commit is still there. So it keeps the history intact a bit better. Yeah, I find these commands super duper helpful. Let's go back to the blog post. You don't need to use these all the time, though I do find myself using it on a weekly basis. I don't know if that means I make a lot of mistakes, but sometimes I commit things and then I just undo it. And so I've actually have a Git alias for this. I do this so often for a soft reset, but this is just super handy to have, I think, in your developer toolkit. If you accidentally make a commit, maybe make a commit and realize that, hey, I actually want to go in a different direction. There's so many different ways that you can use this, and I hope that this video has been helpful.